So I am Siaram Pandey. I am a professor of biochemistry.
My name is Sahib. I'm in third year right now in the BCN program. I'm working on the prostate cancer project in the cancer side of Dr. Pandy's research lab.
My name is Anshika. I am in my third year of the Outstanding Scholars program. I'm a neuroscience student and I'm looking at how different natural extracts can be used to treat Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. So I became interested in your lab actually because of a senior who was in the lab, and I heard really cool things about the neuroscience project. And being a neuroscience student, I wanted to see how I could apply what I was learning in the classroom in a more hands-on setting. So that was kind of what initially piqued my interest, and I also liked the idea of using natural extracts more in treatment of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So that's where I started, and then I approached you. I dropped by the office one day.
Thank you. And during the discussion, I do find that the motivation of the student is of the prime value. And I know that these students are interested in medical school, and as I told you before, that is not a problem for me. Actually, I'm very proud to have this fantastic student getting into the medicine and be my future doctor and physicians, which will do a good job. And what was your motivation?
So I actually had a family member that had prostate cancer, my grandfather. So when I was going through the different projects that I was looking into on like what I should work with, I came across your research lab and actually met one of your students, Karthika. And she kind of talked about like the opportunities in your lab and how you guys are working with cancers. And then I was looking between cancer labs themselves, and I found that yours is working with natural extracts. And I feel like that was touching on a bit of my culture, working with natural stuff, and it was also something I was interested in because a natural remedy is, I feel like, a lot better than a lot of the chemotherapies we're working with. So that's why I thought to approach you.
So, I met with you, I discussed the project with you, and I know that there are lots of people working on it. And when you joined the lab, it was just, the first year is like babysitting, the teaching the techniques. Can you share the experience so far? What have you been doing?
So on the neuro group, what we do is a lot of the times we create different treatments. So creating like the actual product for the treatment, ashwagandha and CoQ10 in water-soluble formulations. So actually creating the food for the mice is one thing that we do. And then also after the treatments have been done and the rats have been sacrificed, we take their brains and we section them so that we can do experiments on them later, staining to count the neurons. So recently I was actually in a room with the cryostat and actually doing the sectioning, and that was an important lab technique I've learned.
So ultimately, there is nothing at hand to stop the progression of Alzheimer's right now. All the treatment available is there only symptomatically. And you know how horrible this is. So we are working desperately to find anything which can halt the progress and increase the quality of life for these people. That is where your contribution will be. Now switching to cancer. What are you doing so far?
So I started in the beginning of second year. I started with cell work, so I learned how to culture cells, take care of cells. And then the following semester, I started to treat.
So you use that extract and treat them.
Exactly. So I did that in combinations, chemotherapies, and just alone itself.
These chemotherapies are very toxic. Yes, you can live for 6 months more, but it is a miserable life. So our idea was to use some of these natural extracts, which are very simple materials, have already been approved by Health Canada to be given to people as a nutritional supplement. But some of them have shown anti-cancer activity, like dandelion root extract. Recently we found lemongrass, dandelion root, Lakshmi Thuru, there are many of them. So idea was that give this material, natural extract, along with chemotherapy, and hope was that it will reduce the side effect. At the same time, it will be enhancing the anti-cancer efficacy of the chemotherapy. So if we can show that in the lab, then doctors will not hesitate. So they need this information that by research we have shown that these extracts do not interfere with the chemo. And not only interfere, they can enhance the activity of chemo. And the bonus is they can reduce the side effect.
And I feel just being a part of research is actually like just open my mind and like, how does cancer work? How does a treatment look? Like what goes behind these drugs? What goes behind a solution to a problem? In particular, in terms of cancer, I think is like opening my mind in terms of like, maybe it's not as impossible as I initially thought it was, being an issue. maybe more inspired in many ways.
I would definitely echo what Sahib said about how it has broadened my horizons, and I look at different health problems very differently. With the Alzheimer's group especially, I see how we actually are coming up with solutions, and I think, again, definitely feels inspiring. And even as somebody who's interested in the healthcare field in the future, it makes me feel like there's always going to be lifelong changes that are happening and discoveries that are occurring to improve the field that I'm interested in.
What my hope is that these are the next generation of workforce. We have 55 people from the lab going into medical profession, and these are good students. They not only develop as a researcher in the lab, but they do develop their interpersonal skill. They work in a group, they design the experiment, work together, and most importantly, a compassionate nature to do something for the community and the patient. I'm not going to be doing research forever, so we are bringing the things over here, and after that I'm very comfortable this workforce will continue that, and maybe what I couldn't discover, they will.